Yeah.
Okay, a controversial issue that is going on with athletics, competitive athletics on an international level today is citizenship with athletes who are not from America and want to represent America on that type of a level. I'm going to specifically focus on distance running because it's something that I'm comfortable with and familiar with. And many of the distance runners that represent America on an international level are actually not from the United States, and instead most of them are from Kenya or Ethiopia, and they compete in competitions like the Olympics. Now there are two sides to the argument, and there are spectators and groups of people who believe it's unjust for someone that is not from America who gains citizenship to represent America. They may believe it's out of spiteful means to show Americans up, or that they're genetically more advanced than us and therefore they come over to America, to essentially show us up. And I don't agree with that argument, and I think it's completely just for these foreigners to be coming over here, and they represent our country in a positive way, and they've put distance running on the map, and they have made the status of distance running in the United States much higher than it was in previous years. I'm going to start by briefly discussing what citizenship is, and then I'm going to show the opposing argument and use three distance athletes, they're all male, who have come over here from different countries and represented the U.S. in a positive way and out of appreciation for our country, not in a spiteful manner. And I hope that I can persuade you to hopefully sympathize with my argument, or just open your eyes to a situation that's going on not only in the distance running world, but in other sports as well. So citizenship in the United States is a status that is given to an individual that involves certain rights, privileges, and duties between that individual and the United States. And citizenship is acquired through either being born in the U.S. or through the process of naturalization. And all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. And if a visa expires for someone coming over here, then they could go through the process of naturalization to become a full citizen of the United States. And a type of visa that I researched is the O-1 visa, and what that does is it gives individuals with extraordinary ability in science, business, athletics, and education the opportunity to come over here and just temporarily work in that field. So this is a blog post that I found that I think shows the opposing argument, and it's about Edward Cheserek, who is a high school athlete who runs on a team in New Jersey right now, and he is not a citizen of the United States. He's originally from Kenya, and I've had the honor of seeing him run, and he's really talented and a competitor. And the man who posts here, I believe that his argument is somewhat narrow-minded, and he's not considering a lot of the factors that go into the foreigners who come over here and represent our country. And he says, this just bothers me. Coming to America because America gives you opportunity as part of the American dream, right? But when a guy comes to America to take advantage of it in high school sports, it gets under my skin. I know logically, legally, ethically, there is no reason not to. Does this make me racist? Not sure what I'm seeing here about myself, but I don't like it. Regardless, it seems that coming from a country where genetics gives you an unfair advantage over other competitors is unfair, yet I can't find a clear way to argue against it. So he's saying that Edward Cheserek is coming over here and has an unfair advantage over everyone else, and that it's based on genetics. But this argument in response is the one that I agree with, and he says, regardless, seems that coming from, that's the opposing argument, but this man responds and says, this is completely false. Genetics have nothing to do with this, or any African distance runner. The reason these Africans are so fast is because of the lifestyle over there. They don't have shoes most of the time, so they run barefoot, making their running mechanics superior to most of Americans who grew up with oodles of shoes to choose from. You hear stories of how current distance running greats from Africa lived so far away from school they had to run over 10 miles a day just to get to and from school. For them, running is everything, and that kind of lifestyle is almost absent in American society today. So now I'm going to use three male distance runners to show the point that I'm trying to get across, that they come over here for opportunity, and when they represent America, they're doing it in thanks and appreciation for us, and it has nothing to do with spite towards our nation at all. And sorry if I pronounce the names wrong, but the first one I'm going to talk about is Bose Shiboyo, and he is from Kenya, and he lived in a small village, and he would run over 10 miles to school every day. And he was exceptional in languages, and he had a deep desire to learn. And this made him a perfect candidate to come over to America and attend a university here. And he also had the talent of running. However, he had his mind set on Butler University, but the coach did not want him on the team because he was a foreigner and could only collegiately compete for 2 years. But Eastern Michigan took him in, and he represented that school very well. He actually won the NCAA cross-country championships in 2001, and then the following year, he won the NCAA title in the 10,000 meter. And he did this through American training, so he was under the supervision of an American coach. Also, besides his NCAA titles, he signed a contract with Nike and also earned a degree in secondary education. And I read an article, and this is what he said. I just want to give back to the country that embraced me and gave me the opportunity to get my college degree. When people say I've lost my accent, well, my wife is American. Everyone I interact with almost every single day is American. My lifestyle is basically an American lifestyle. So he came over here and he embraced the American lifestyle and he took that into him. And when he runs, he's doing it in thanks to the coaches who brought him up here and gave him the opportunity to live in a great nation that we have. And he also is thanking the trainers who helped him when he had injuries. He suffered from Achilles problems when he came over here. So the next athlete, he's pretty famous. His name is Meb Keflezighi, and he is from, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it, Eritrea, which is a small East African nation. And he lived in a village where there was no electricity, and there was a war going on. So him and his brothers were often running to bushes to hide in fear of the military taking them away. And so running became a daily part of his life through that experience. And when he was in 7th grade, he was fortunate enough to come over to the United States with his 10 brothers and sisters and live in San Diego. And kids made fun of his accent, the way he dressed, and how he wasn't able to speak English. However, when he moved into high school, he actually ended up placing second in the Foot Locker Cross Country National Championship, which is extremely prestigious at that type of an age. And his peers actually applauded him for that because he came over here and represented the school in a great way in such a prestigious type of competition. Later on, he ended up going to UCLA, and he won 4 NCAA titles, and he also shattered the 15-year-old American record in the 10,000 meter run, and he did this all under the coaching of the UCLA coach. And his coach said, Coach Bob Larson said, Meb has toughness from the old country. He can relax in difficult situations, and the ice bath enables him to train harder the next day. And then in the New York Times article, it says, Keflezighi, who received his American citizenship in 1998, is one of 4 athletes from other countries whose recent citizenship has helped boost America's distance running revival. So he came over here and he brought a good name to our distance running program, and he's done that out of coming from such circumstances. And these are some of the accomplishments he's had. He won the 2009 New York City Marathon and the San Diego Half Marathon. And if I have time, I'll show you a video of that. And the last athlete who I'll briefly speak about is Bernard Lagat, and he received his citizenship in March of 2005. He's also from Kenya, and he made an American record in the 1500 in August of 2004 in the World Indoor Championships. But under USAF rules, this was taken away from him because he wasn't a citizen at the time. But when he did get his citizenship, he contributed a lot to America and our distance running. He won 5 gold medals for the U.S., and he's known as an American runner, and he wears the jersey with pride and honor. And those are some of the accomplishments that he's had on a world level. These are just two high school athletes, just to bring it down to around our age. Lucas Versvikas, he's from Lithuania. He's still working on getting his citizenship, but he's recently running in Oregon, and he broke here in the New Balance Nationals, it says that he ran a 4:10, but he broke a 4-minute mile in his senior year of high school. And this is Edward Cheserek from Kenya, and he's running at the Manhattan Invitational, which I got to work at, and I saw him win that race by a long shot. So basically, I hope that through these 3 examples and the high school examples, it's evident that these athletes are talented, and that it's not something genetic, but it does come from some of the circumstances and maybe the altitude they live at and the lifestyle that they embrace. However, they come over here with good intentions and a positive outlook. They want to represent our country, and they're doing it in a form of appreciation, in my belief, and to revive United States distance running. And they wear the jersey with honor. Also, I think that having foreigners come over here and run with us is actually good for American-born runners, because it gives us a challenge and someone to train next to. And I can say from personal experience that this is true, because ever since I came on the cross-country team here, my captain, she's not a U.S. citizen, she's from Sweden, she's still on her visa, and she has made me run some of the fastest times ever, because she always encourages me to run next to her and train next to her, and she's also a great leader for my team. So today I hope I persuaded you to at least sympathize with the fact that the athletes who come over here from different countries, not only distance running but other sports, are doing it with perfectly good intention, and they do put a good name for the U.S. out there in international competitions.